So yeah, let's start. What you see here is my a work that I've been working for quite a long time in various periods. You don't have to start to detail it right now. I'm gonna explain it, and the basic idea is it's in the middle of it. It's my way, my view on the art of giving and receiving change-oriented feedback, and this change-oriented feedback is a concept that I developed by myself. And to explain it, I'm gonna shift a little bit higher on my whiteboard. So I explain here the differences between two types of feedback. And the first type of feedback is it's what I call the growth-oriented feedback. And a characteristic, an important property of it is that there is no self-interest of the giver of the feedback. It means that I see something in someone and I think it could help him or her by developing a skill or accepting something in his or her life or whatever it is about. But if he or she throws my message away, it doesn't not have any influence on my life. So I don't feel impacted on whether they are um, um, prepared to grow and yeah, to grow. I have to be careful with my words now. So for me, the method is a compassion driven message. So you give a message as a gift, and it's the responsibility, the total responsibility of the other person to take the gift and to use it to enrich his or her life. The second type of feedback is the change oriented feedback. And for me, it's a very, very, very important difference. And that is that there is some self interest of the giver. If I give some feedback to a colleague that this person is in, that I see that he is much too direct and aggressive in the way that he deals with me, I have a strong self-interest in the way how the receiver of of the feedback is dealing with my feedback. If he throws my feedback away, I guess, I will have the feeling of being neglected, and it will deteriorate our relationship in most cases. So there, the nonviolent communication becomes very important. So yeah, nonviolent communication. I'm going to explain it very quickly just to see the method. So not to explain the model because I know you know it. Um, I'm going to focus on the change-oriented feedback and not on the growth-oriented feedback. I know I'm still doubting about the words. It's a semantic difference, and you can discuss if the change-oriented one is not also, you can also write growth, but it's just the words that I've chosen now, and I try to explain. So yeah, if you have good suggestions there to put the right words on the concept, I think the concept itself is solid, but the words on it are still confusing. So I'm gonna focus on this change-oriented feedback. And the basic characteristic is just to remind there's a self-interest of the giver. If the receiver does nothing with the feedback, the giver will feel some. There's a chance that the giver will feel some. He's neglecting me. He's not taking me very serious, and I'm still feeling the negative effects of the other one's behavior. So let's go to the nonviolent communication part. So nonviolent communication is these are footsteps in my worst drawing ever. But yeah, I hope you recognize that as footsteps and not as little spooks or little crazy animals somewhere in the sea. So there are four steps in the nonviolent communication: 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's go a little bit back. If we go to the first step of nonviolent communication, then it's about the facts. We try to explain, we step into these footsteps and we express what we saw what we heard and what we observed. Um, and it's tremendous here to express it as facts and not as feelings. And this is, of course, pure Marshall Rosenberg. The thing I was dealing with or thinking about was how, what does it do with the receiver? Because this is about the art of giving and receiving feedback. So, what does this do? I see here, observe. What does it do with the receiver? And then I came to the model of, so I make a cross in the model, I travel to the other side. And this is the left part of the figure. So this part is the part of the receiver. And now I realize that I forgot something to add. So I have to throw a little bit my video, and while I'm trying to keep on talking, you hear that I'm taking something out of my backpack. And I am looking for this model, Johari model. I don't know if you know it. It's a very interesting thing, and it's about finding and recognizing your own blind spots. I wanna draw it right. Sorry, this is a little bit fucked up of the video. Now I have done in Dutch here. This means yourself, and this is the other. This is known. This is unknown. This is known. This is unknown. And now we get 4 spaces. The things that you know and the other ones know is the open space. The thing that is unknown to yourself and known to the other is a blind spot. This is where feedback is about. The thing that is known to yourself but unknown to the other is a hidden area that you want to hide for others, probably. And the thing that is unknown for yourself and unknown is completely unknown territory. So if you receive the first step of nonviolent feedback, I see, I hear, and observe. I see you do this, I hear you say that, I observe you in your interaction with other people. This is information, at least, about what the other knows. It's in this category, it's information that you get here. And it's interesting for the receiver here, so for the receiver to check, the receiver is here, the self, to check, do I know this? Or is it new to me? And then do I recognize it? Do I accept it? And if I don't accept it, what does it do to me to hear this? And if I know this, what does it do to me to hear this? So this kind of already interaction is very interesting to have a conversation about it. The second step in the nonviolent communication is the emotion part. I feel, so I don't have to explain this. Feelings of non-accomplished needs and feelings of accomplished needs. So positive emotion, negative emotions, using a little bit of wrong words. And if we go cross to step 2 of the receiver, so again, this is the giver side, this is the receiver side. Then we come to a compassion cultivation training model. And it's interesting to watch this graph that is made by a Swedish American scientist, psychologist who does research on empathy. And she has this graph that says on the horizontal axis is the warmth that you feel towards someone. And if it's minus, it means it's cold. You have a very cold and distant feeling towards the person. And if it's positive, and it means that you're very warm. You want to take him very close, he or she. This one competence is a little bit difficult to understand. It's the belief that the other one is able to do the good thing, the right thing, the thing that you need. So, and then you get four fields. So the field of you don't believe that the other one is capable of doing the right thing. And this is really an asshole. You don't like him. He feels so cold, so distant. Then you feel disgust towards this person, more or less disgust, depending where you are on this square. If you feel here very cold, but you see the competence, you see his ability to do the right thing, but you don't feel any sympathy, then there is some joy of suffering. It's There is a nice German word, Schadenfreude, and it means that you are making fun of the other one's negative life feelings. And the third one is if you have a very warm feeling, but you don't believe that the other one is capable of doing the right thing, it's a very low on the competence scale, then you feel pity. It's very negative. You look down on the other person. And the last feel that you can stand in is empathy. It's yeah, you both have the belief that the other one is competent to do the right thing in his or her life, to make the choices with the right intention. And you also have warmth. You see him as a human being. The difference that is explained in the Anatomy of Peace about seeing someone as an object or a subject, really in the beginning of the model, and it's explained for the first time by the philosopher of Martin Buber, it is here. So here you see, here you see the other one as an object, and here you see the other one as a subject, as a human being. This is the humanity side, to use Chinese words. So if someone gives you a message, I feel this, then it's interesting to see how you relate to the other one when you hear this message on this scale, on this figure. Where are you? Are you towards the empathy, or are you in the disgust? What's the conversation inside yourself as a receiver when you get the emotional message? I feel very small when you act like this in my work. Yeah, but you are very small, and you are a cold asshole, and I feel disgust towards you. And now we come to the compassion cultivation training, and we can help people to travel towards the empathy. So the task of the big work of change-oriented feedback is not only about the giving, but it's really about the dialogue of the receiving. The giving is a process, the process of the 4 steps, and the receiving is also the process of going through these kind of things. So this is the second step, is the internal, and maybe the internal response on the receiving of emotional experiences of the other. So the next step is the needs. So these are a little bit more feet in comparison with this one, I hope. So this one, the third step, is in order to live a decent life, or to be happy, or to do a great job, or to be a great parent, or whatever it is about, I need really this. This is the needs part of nonviolent communication. And then it's interesting to jump to the receiver again. We're going to cross the model, and we go to the model of Robert Dilts, and it's also often referred to this guy. It's just here in my library. This book, Steps to an Ecology of Mind, of Gregory Bateson, was a biologist, psychologist, But there's a lot of discussion who invented this model, so I reference it as a DILS. And this is a very important model in coaching. We use it for questioning, so to upscale, downscale questions, and to going from the context to life mission, to ID, values, conviction, behavior, context. So if you hear a message of someone for me to live or to do a proper job or to be a good parent, to take the issue of today, um, I really need, I don't have an example now, sorry, I didn't prepare the examples. Um, for me, in order to be a good consultant, it's very important for me, as if I work with colleagues, that there is a full transparency. Full transparency is about my values. It goes down to convictions. I believe that full transparency helps to be a good consultant, that it guides our behavior, and that we can so transform the context that we are working in. It is also related to my identity. Sorry, I'm not just a consultant. I'm a consultant who wants to add something to sustainability of social systems. That's my life mission. My maison la silence, my silent house in mountains, is my life mission. Whether there will be ever building or not, it's my work. So if I get a message that someone has the feeling that a certain value of this person is violated for doing things that I do, no, that's not right. So I correct myself. If I get the message that for someone I'm working with, that something is very important to be happy in his or her life or work, then I need to check what it means for me. Does we have a value conflict? Or does we have not a value conflict, but the way that we transfer it to our behavior is just different? Maybe this person saw me things do and make a link towards a certain need, a certain value. But what I did, what he or she thinks or saw, my behavior, it's not necessarily, it means that we have different values. Maybe we have the same values, but how we translate it to behavior is different. But maybe we have different values, and now we have a much more fundamental problem. And the receiving of the feedback and my openness to change myself in the way how I act towards this colleague will be very much more difficult. The last step is the request in nonviolent communication. Sorry for my coughing. And it's of course, the question, you can help me please by doing this in a different way or whatever, the request part of nonviolent communication, I guess. Whew, I need to do something. What does it mean to me? Am I good in this? Do I want to do it? How does it resonate to me? And then we jump to the model of Daniel Hoffman, who has worked with, let's call it now, easiness, talents. Like my talent is, I'm very good, I'm fluently speaking, especially in Dutch. It's a little bit less in English as a foreign language, but it can be too much. I hope you know, I'm not sure if you know this. This is really more consultancy model, I think. So too much, very interesting to work in teams with this model. If it becomes too much, then it becomes my pitfall. If I'm, talent. I have to watch the screen and my phone, the whiteboard. So my talent is speaking, for example. But I can be very dominant, maybe, if I'm speaking too much. So, if someone asks me to do something else, how does it resonate to me? Does it resonate to a talent? Is it easy for me to do it? Does it say something that I'm going to a too much situation? Does it something say about my allergy? This is the positive opposite. The positive opposite of speaking too much is, I say, like being a good silent partner. If it's too much, this person becomes too passive in a conversation. And that's the allergy. This is the allergy of this person. So again, what the other person asks me to do, how does it resonate? Does it arise an allergy of me? Or do I see, yeah, it's very interesting, compensate my pitfall behavior? So this is the last step in my model. And the basic idea, if I zoom out from it like this, I'm gonna go on my knees, then you see that this part is the giving part, the 4 steps, and we make the cross from this, then we go to this, then we go to this, and then we go to this. My idea is that I didn't put it here on the floor, but I have here in my materials a big plastic, and I draw this model in it's 4 meters on 4 meters, so 3 meters on 3 meters I've got, and people really have to stand with their feet here, and the receiver has to stand here, and really the dialogue is going like this. Let's see, what does it do? What do I feel? What does it do? What do I need? What does it do? And what do you ask? And what does it do for me to hear this asking? And I'm prepared to change this. You see? So this is my theory and practice about change-oriented feedback. And I hope you like it. Or if you don't like it, if you don't understand it, please, it would be so nice to get some feedback. Bye.